Good evening, fish keepers. Today I'm going to do the 55-gallon Mbuna tank that's got a lot of the little baby Mbunas in here, but I haven't done none of the coral rocks that I have in here. It's not live coral, but it's actually just dead coral rocks that I've purchased at PetSmart. But they've built up a lot of brown algae on it, and I haven't really touched them in about a month and a half. So I'm gonna do what I usually do. I use a bleach mixture with 3 parts of water, or 4 parts of water to 1 part of bleach, and I've been doing this for over a year and a half, and it has never harmed any of the fish or upset the balance of the water. So, not saying that you can do this, but practice it at your own risk. But I rinse. These rocks are pretty absorbent, so I make sure I rinse them out real good. Some people recommend letting them sit in water for at least a day or two, but all I do is I bleach them, clean them off, and rinse them off real good thoroughly, and then I'll be putting them back in during the same time period. So, and I've been doing this practice for, like I said, probably about almost 2 years. So, and it's never harmed any of the fish. So I'll get back with you as soon as I start pulling this stuff out. I do the same thing here because the tub that we have is a cast iron tub. I lay a rubber mat to come and lay the stones in here, and the canopy tops, these have plastic. They came with the aquarium, and they have the glass. So what I usually do, I just take my spray and spray them down and let them soak and let that stuff come off, and then you just come back and you just rinse that stuff off. It'll just wash right off. So now even the plants, the plastic plants that we have in there, will be just sprayed down thoroughly, and then this stuff here will just cook it off of there, and it'll be just bright as ever. So let me go get the coral rock, and we'll bring that back in here. Alright, so you can see we're going to go ahead and start fishing some of these out of here, and just draw them out slowly. And I usually just put them in a bucket. Everything else will have to be cleaned off. And then we'll level the substrate first chance I get after we get all these cleaned up. It's kind of hard doing this with one hand, but some of these I will leave at the bottom. They actually didn't turn color, didn't accumulate any brown algae, but some of these other ones I will be moving out. I know it looks bad, but it'll clean up so pretty afterwards. I just don't want to bring any of those larger fry out of there. Just getting some of these big pieces out of here. Like I said, some of these I'll probably leave, just so they'll have still some shelter area. We'll leave those there and continue on this side. Move some of this stuff around. Well, These guys are notorious of moving all the substrate. I usually do this with a good vacuuming during the week and kind of replace and move the substrate back to where it was at. But since I'm in here doing this, I might as well just move it by hand. We'll get the rest of these from this side. I have quite a few in here, so I like using this because it actually brings and adjusts the pH in the water. Makes the water a little harder for them, because most Mbunas and African cichlids need a little bit harder water. That's why a lot of people will add a lot of salt. Not that it's a brackish, but it's good for them to have more of the harder water. So that's going to be it for this side. Let me move some of these things around. The substrate back where it was at. Okay. That looks pretty good all the way. Alrighty. I think we'll be good. We're going to go ahead and take these and do the same thing. We'll bleach them and then we'll rinse them off real good and bring them back. As you can see, I haven't even rinsed them off yet, and they've done just brightened up completely. All that brown algae is completely off those plants. Alright, I'm going to start bringing some of these live rock, or dead rock in here, the old corals. And usually just spray down the bad spots that have all the brown spots on them. And actually can just get rid of all that stuff on there by bleaching it. Alright, let's see if we can get this done. Alright, we got all the rocks in here, and we're going to go ahead and start spraying them. And let that soak. Like I said, this is a 4-to-1 mix bleach, and it usually does pretty darn good. It will get rid of all that stuff. And you can almost, the camera doesn't give it justice, but you can start seeing this just disappearing. Especially after you rinse it off, it'll be just all gone. And that's about it. So you can see the colors are already changing. It's getting more whiter again. So now we're going to commence to rinsing them off. Alright, they're getting a good soaking, getting rinsed off. You can see the glass panels are cleared up. I got all the plants in here. They're all in real good shape. Now, I'll drain the water, and then I'll individually rinse each one of these. Alright guys, now all I'm going to do is just start putting all this back after it's been rinsed off. Be putting it back in here. And there they are. All back in their nice little cozy areas. I mean, they're always stacked a little different because there's no way you could redo it exactly the way it was. But they got their little cubby holes and stuff now again. Plants are all nice and clean. All I gotta do is put the top trays and put the lights back on. We'll look at it after we get all that done. Alrighty, she's all back in service. Got the lights, substrates back where it should be. Everything's nice and clean. A little dusty, but it'll settle here in a little bit. I'm stirring all that substrate up. And there's all those little fry running around. They're small. They're about almost an inch long now. So they're all hanging out. They're checking out all their new little cubby holes. There's got to be at least 10 or 12 in here now. But they're getting adventurous now. They're moving out. They're not too scared no more. So, all right, guys. Later, and this is how I do my rock cleaning and plant cleaning with a 4 to 1% bleach, and you can put it right back in after you've rinsed it off real good, and it has never harmed my fish or the water where the water pH is way off. So, but I do, once I get this done, I always add a batch of prime, just like if I was going to do a water change, just to make sure, and I think that's what helps out as well. So later with further tips. Later, guys. 30 minutes later, after all the cleaning, it really clears up quick. So it's looking really pretty now. So like I said, I don't do this too often. I would say maybe once every 3 months is clean the rocks and stuff. But it takes quite a bit for them to start building any kind of buildup. But here lately they kind of build up quite a bit, so I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's just the water itself. So still feeding the same. I haven't been overfeeding, so the lights are still on the same timer. So alright guys, we'll get back with y'all. Another clean aquarium.